What is up, golf fans, and welcome to the very first installment of the Golf Dad Chronicles, a new feature that I'm going to be doing probably weekly or bi-weekly as a third podcast. I know it's Friday and you're wondering, why are we hearing this Friday? You said it was going to be Thursday. My apologies. The other part of my job got in the way and I ran out of time. I'm a day late, but hopefully I'm not a buck short. I wanted to introduce this feature, and this is not going to be a long podcast as I kind of introduce what I want to do on the Golf Dad Chronicles. Because honestly, the Fairways and Dreams podcast is a part of that. The Fairways and Dreams podcast is like a labor of love for me. You know, it's definitely not even close to as large as the Pittsburgh Steelers content that I do. That is the main part of my job. It's what I'm most known for. But this project for me, I love the game of golf. I love talking about golf. And as I've grown and as I became a husband and then a father, golf has now entered a new realm with me. And it's not so much about the competition. It's not so much about the improvement. It's about me being a golf dad. And so being a golf dad can be a lot of fun. It can be very rewarding. It can also be very difficult. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I don't have the time, at least during the NFL season, to find a lot of guests. So I'm going to give people my thoughts on being a golf dad. And that is where the Golf Dad Chronicles begin. And so this is an introduction to this feature that we're going to have on the podcast. So am I a golf dad? Absolutely. I have 5 children. So for those that don't know, or maybe haven't listened to the podcast for as long as others, we'll put it that way. My oldest, I have 1 boy and 4 girls. The oldest of the 5 is my only son. And then there's 4 daughters that are younger than him. So it goes 8. My son is 17. He'll be 18 in November. My oldest daughter, it turned 15 in January. My second daughter, third child, the middle child, she is 13 years old. Our 4th child will be 11 in September, and our youngest turned 8 in June. That's a lot. That's a lot. So yeah, when my son turns 18, there's a 10-year gap between our oldest and youngest child. And what's interesting is that they all have found golf in their own way, at their own time. And that's something that we'll probably have a specific episode about in terms of helping them find the game of golf and things of that nature. Now, for me, though, I was also a product of a golf dad. My father, who has been on the podcast multiple times, he got my brother's 3 years older than me. He got both of us involved in golf at a young age, but it wasn't like we were thrust into this golf scene. I know everyone that listens to the podcast and sort of the mixtape podcast with my buddy Dan from Leave the Pin, his kids are playing competitively. His oldest son is a Division I golfer. Now, that was not us. My dad gave us a wedge, and we went in the backyard and we chipped, and we just kind of like did half swing shots, and we got comfortable there. And then we went to play this local 9-hole course, and that's a course that is just fun to play. There's no par 5s. It's just a very manageable course for a beginning golfer. And then eventually you got to the point where you could go play some of the quote unquote big boy courses. He was not so much, my father was not so much a product of a golf dad. His dad did golf, but it wasn't the same. My dad kind of got himself into that category. So the question that we're going to try to answer, because I know a lot of people might be out there and they might say, like, well, why would you want to raise your kids with golf the way that I am with my kids, the way that my dad did with his 2 boys? Honestly, I think that it's so important, and there's so many values that you can bring to a young person through golf. But I want to make sure something is very clear here. This does not have to be your kids. And so what I mean is that this could be your grandchildren. I've had people on the podcast before that they talk about how their father, their mom, whatever, did not teach them the game of golf. It was their grandparents that did. It was their grandfather, their grandmother that got them into the game of golf. It doesn't have to be your children. It could be a niece or a nephew. It could also be stepchildren. It could even be a big brother, big sister situation where maybe you're volunteering your time and you have a love for the game of golf and you think maybe that would be something they enjoy. That's okay. This game of golf can impact so many people in so many different ways. Because in my opinion, golf provides unique opportunities for both relationships and a lifetime game, meaning they can play it for their whole lives. Golf provides these opportunities when we're talking about relationships. I've said this before on the podcast and I'll reiterate it. Name me an activity that you could do with someone else, that you go and do the activity and you're going to spend solitary time with them or solitude, you're together the whole time for almost 4+ hours. I can't think of many. I mean, you could talk about, okay, if I go to the bowling lanes, we could be on the same lane. It's not going to take you 4.5 hours to bowl a game. But if you go on the golf course, whether you're riding, walking, doesn't matter, you are going to be spending a significant amount of time with the person or people that you're golfing with. And I know that as a golf dad, and this is the Golf Dad Chronicles, when I take my children golfing with me, it is amazing how it's a peaceful experience when you're walking down the fairway with one of your kids and you're not talking about anything that's crazy as it pertains to the unbelievable questions that surround us in life. No, you're just there. You're just together. You're just being with one another. And I know that for a lot of people, that's like, that sounds kind of hippie-ish. Well, I'm sorry. I'm kind of a hippie. I'm a hippie that loves sports. That's the only difference. I wear football t-shirts instead of tie-dye all the time. I wear plenty of tie-dye, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, these relationships that can be built, cultivated, and grown on the golf course, I can't think of another activity that's like it. And when you talk about them entering a lifelong activity, a game that can last them a lifetime, and this is something that it's cool to me. I can't say it's cool for everyone, but there are times where my dad will come into town and he'll visit in Maryland and he will go golfing and I will go golfing and some of the kids will go. And there has been times where we all went and it was crazy. That's crazy. It's like herding cats, but still I think it's really awesome to see my dad and grandfather getting to golf with his son and then his son's kids, his grandkids. You're seeing these levels to this game and these levels to the family and the levels to this relationship with not just each other, but the game itself. It's unique. I can't think of anything that's like it. So, in this bi weekly series, I'm going to be diving into a ton of topics that involve the game, teaching the game, how to approach the game for maybe a young adult or a kid who doesn't really have much interest right now, some of the benefits of the game, and more. So I've already had I have this ongoing list of what I want to talk about. What does it mean to be a golf dad? The benefits of teaching kids to golf, the you versus yourself mentality in the game, the different games and the ways that you can play with your kids or have your kids play to keep them enticed and interested in the game, the lifetime game aspect and memories that are made on the course, how you can help your kids find the game of golf. Because let's be honest, I have 5 kids. I can't say that this is like some huge sample size, but each one of my 5 children likes golf for different reasons. Some like it because they want to ride in a cart and maybe get a chance to drive the cart. Some like it because they really do love golf and they want to go out and they want to play. Some like it only when we go to the driving range because they like to use the technology there, the TrackMan. They want to see how far their golf ball goes. And my answer is always the same thing. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to meet you where you are. I'm going to meet you at the range with a cart, at the course. It doesn't matter. At the putting green, short game area. It does not matter. We're going to talk about this and so much more in these Golf Dad Chronicles. And I want you to know that if you're someone out there that is a father and you have a child that golfs, I don't care what age they are. If your child is 25, 30, 40, doesn't matter, and they were wanting to get into golf, yes, do it. Welcome them with open arms. Welcome to the game of golf. We've been waiting for you. I know I talk about, I've seen this on social media, mainly Instagram, a couple times, where there's so many people out there that maybe they were approached at a younger age to golf with someone in their family. And the videos that you see are the person now at their current age looking back at what would be a version of themselves at the younger age. And someone approaches them and says, hey, you want to go hit some golf balls? You want to go to the course with me? And the person that's younger says, no, I want to play basketball. I'm going to play baseball, whatever. And the person that's watching now at their current age is like, no, go to the course. Just go. Sometimes you have to meet people on their own timeline. But I'm excited for the Golf Dad Chronicles. Like I said, this is going to be a short podcast. I'm going to be doing these probably sporadically with maybe every other week. I'll do a course review one week, Golf Dad Chronicles the next, and we'll make sure that we have a lot of good golf content for you. But if you are a golf dad out there and you want to hear a specific topic brought up or discussed on the podcast, I'd love to hear it. You can hit me up on Twitter. That is my most active social media app at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. You'll see a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers coverage, but still, you can always hit me up about golf as well. Or you can find me on Instagram. That is at the golf_life. At the golf_life on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear maybe your successes, your failures in this realm. Being a golf dad doesn't mean that just because you say you're a golf dad is everything is sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes things don't go well. We'll talk about that for sure. But that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed this introductory podcast. I hope you're looking forward to these shows in the future. I will have those for you right here. But we finish up all my shows. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. We will see you next week on the Fairways Dreams podcast. Everyone, take it easy.